Thank you so much for joining us today on Coffee With. My guest is Chief Charles Atkins, who is the Chief of the Vicksburg Fire Department. Chief Atkins, thank you for joining us today.
And thank you. Thanks for having me.
I was excited when I called and you were able to come and have coffee with me because I know how busy you are.
Sure.
I know Derek Stamps. I've interviewed Derek, and I know how very busy y'all stay down there at the fire department. So, gosh, it took me about a week to even catch up with you.
Well,
so I was hopeful that we'd be able to schedule this, and lo and behold, here we are.
Thank you.
Now, Chief, you're a local guy, born and raised
here.
Born and
raised in Vicksburg.
And then went away to school.
Went away to school to Hattiesburg, to southern Mississippi. Down there for a little while and graduated from there. And then I went across the border to Louisiana for a moment or two. Down in Hammond, Louisiana, southeast Louisiana, got a little work in my master's degree. And then I came back home after all that was over with and got to working in the school system, one school system, and did substitute teaching. I'm not sure, about 4 or 5 years, I believe. Took the test at the fire department during that process, passed it, and got a call from then Chief Ernest Parker. And he did the interview with me, and we sat down, and he told me I could start working for him. Ever since then, I came in to the fire department in 1984.
And you started as a firefighter?
Started as a regular firefighter, probationary firefighter, coming on all through the rank. And right now, I'm serving as the chief of the fire department. Yep.
Now, how long have you been the chief?
Right now, 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, 2 years.
And before you were the chief, were you a firefighter, or did you have another position?
No, to be honest, I had a job in the training division of the fire department, and I did that for 15 years. And I really liked that because as I did that job, I saw that I had an impact on the lives of the freshmen, or I say the probationary firefighters that came through, and had a way of guiding their minds to different divisions within the fire department. And that was a good thing for me, plus the fact that I learned a lot about the fire service and how to operate as a manager and administrator. So at the same time, teaching that process too as we go, also with the fire qualifications that were needed for each firefighter to come through and do the things that they do.
So you've really worked your way up from firefighter to training officer to chief. And what's of those three positions? What's been your favorite?
Yeah, I guess I would always have to say is the training officer. You know, the excitement of the firefighter was good. You know, but yet and still, it comes to an end sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and the excitement gets out of it, and that's when you want to switch to another specialized area of the department. And mine was training. Yeah. And I got into that and learning and being able to give people knowledge and wisdom about what I do, and then at the same time watch them grow from that. It's an intriguing thing for me.
So as the chief of the fire department, what are some of your primary responsibilities? When I call you all those times and I can never get you, what are you out there doing?
Let's take for this morning, for example, a Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock. We have 911 dispatch emergency meetings. That's an hour long. Right after that, we had to run to the Corps. We're dealing with a flooding event that's about to happen. We spent about an hour and a half there. And then I had to come back to the department, deal with little issues there that we have to deal with. This was my most busiest day of the week, but at the same time, it can go from one level to the next at any time, you know. But usually just making rounds, like I like going out and talking to children. I'm a part of that little reading program that Miss Swanser got involved with the schools. And
in fact, I think I saw you out at Dana Road, for Dr. Seuss's birthday, the Real People Read. I saw you out there reading.
Real People Read, and those are the highlights of being in this position. The other part of it is dealing with the personnel that's on the department, going to City Hall and dealing with that situation all the time. And basically just being a fire chief, basically it's kind of almost like being a father-like figure to the guys that you serve on. Hopefully I'm doing a good job with that. Yeah.
Well, I know you have some outstanding employees. I mean, I know a lot of your firefighters, and they're just, I don't know, it seems like you just have some of the cream of the crop people working for you.
We do have some good guys. Now, I'll be the first one to applaud all that they do for what they do. And the interesting thing about that is that when we do have other fire departments come in and visit, they praise us about how we do things in those type of situations. But it all, you got money resources, you got material resources, then you got the human resources. That's the most important thing of any department, being able to make those relationships. And keeping myself honest with that is probably about the best thing I can do, and most fulfilling thing that I do, because I kind of see myself as teaching people through situations. And firefighters are human beings also, but they have a tough job to do in some instances. And in those real tough instances, I like to be there to give them a little encouragement and help them through it. And that's both on the family side and on the job side, professional, whatever the case may be. Yeah, but that's the good part of it. But at the same time, you know, that's the sad part of it. We have to sometimes do our job. And in doing so, we run into the worst of some situations and things, which is kind of tough on us.
Well, and you have some really hard-working folks too. I know a lot of the guys that work down there have other jobs.
That's right. That's right.
You know, we as public servants, we sure wish we could pay them a little more,
no doubt,
so that they didn't have to go have another job. But unfortunately, that's the reality of the situation.
It is.
And they are very hard-working people. Some of them I know work 2 or 3 jobs.
That's right.
And still, you know, I mean, being a firefighter is such a huge responsibility.
That's right. One of the things that we have in access of our department is just this. We are the EMS, and that's Emergency Medical Service. We are I say it's 2 in the state. We're the first one. We've been doing it for a long time. Our fire-based ambulance service, and that's where we get our paramedics and EMTs. And right now we run 4 frontline medic units, and that's an ambulance we call it. And these guys go all throughout the county. And this is an asset to us because, you know, that brings in, I'll say, a little monetary situations for us also. But the most important thing about that is that we can help people when they most need it. And then, like I told the story of one time about being a paramedic. When we first got into the city, it wasn't always here, but we were always basic EMTs. And we could go out and we couldn't start an IV. But with paramedics, we can start IVs and do the emergency room scene at the scene, and then prepare to go to the emergency room. And that's a highlight within itself. To have a person suffering from a diabetic coma, out, not knowing where he is, and then we come on scene, give him the right treatment and all that, and watch him come from that non-involved level to talking to you. And that's the most amazing thing that a medic can do around here, and save lives. You know, I mean, it's thrilling. But at the same time, it takes a lot of education and training to do that. A lot of times people think that we just sit there in the station and not do anything, but we spend at least about 40 hours a month trying to get these guys and keep them in certification situations and events of that, and then just training on just the normal stuff we do. So it's kind of tiresome sometimes, but the results of it all is the good help that we do give to people when they see a smile on their face.
Well, you know, when Derek Stamps came, when I interviewed him for Coffee With, he was explaining with some of the training activities. Of course, I would never have known this, but up at Bungie and Ergon and some of the places on the port, there's tunnels and other places, and that you have to have had training to fight fires in different environments,
That's
different
right.
surroundings. And when you think about the different terrain that we have in Vicksburg and
Yes.
all the different companies and the port and residential and commercial,
Yes.
that adds up to a lot of training.
It does.
That is ongoing.
It is.
You don't just train once and you
It's-
think, oh, gee, I can do this again, because you may not do it for 10 years.
That's right.
And of course, we just don't know about stuff like that because we're not firefighters. But I thank you so much for the leadership that you give
Very
to the
good.
Vicksburg Fire Department and the protection that you provide to all of us. And thank you for coming and having coffee with me today.
And thank you for the invitation. Hopefully I can come back again.
That sounds great.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you.